Well, there needs to be quorum here at least.
So Robert's here to
Well,
see
it's nice to have Robert, but if we don't have the board here, we can't do anything.
when they do get here.
Well, Scott's on.
Um, Q&A, and also, I just spoke with Justin yesterday about structuring change orders, how that process, how that information flow should be. From you to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, sort of okay. Gotta kind of sort that out. Nick will probably lean on the cost and price, how to charge. So
Yeah, I'll just have to sit down with y'all. What I'm doing, so I told Jess, so I was talking about like changing the recipe. I just like to so much, but I try to fit it on the AIA document. But if I can't, then do an addendum on say,
let's see that's on the
Morning.
years. That's me, that makes sense.
County took all that stuff you sent over to him.
Yeah.
You had to make a trip twice. Chaz, it's
We need one more.
Good morning, Chaz.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Well, we have
More.
Scott on. We just need one more board member.
Morning, folks. This is Scott.
Hey, how are you?
Morning, Scott.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for jumping on.
No problem.
How's the house doing up there?
Now we're moving along.
Good, good. We missed you down here.
We don't miss you. It seems too hot down there.
It actually hasn't been bad this summer.
Been beautiful so far, yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
Good.
Scott, this is Robert Bates to my left.
Thanks for coming, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Scott, have you met? I don't know if you met Scott in person.
I met Robert. He was walking through the units a few months back, and I did have an opportunity to chat with him. Yes.
Okay, great, good.
Matt, have you heard any rumblings or any of the owners planning on jumping on, as far as you know, that have these assessments?
I've heard nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. I talked to Mr. Tate yesterday. 3328 closed yesterday. He said he was going to jump on the meeting. I think I talked to him about 5 o'clock yesterday.
They were aware, though.
They were aware of the situation. And, yeah, we'll talk about that in meeting.
I want to be like you when I grow up.
Matt, do you need me to join over there afterwards, or are you good, or how do you feel about that?
I think I'm good. 3324. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think we're good over there.
Okay, I'll be on call if you need me. Just text.
Okay.
There's Bob and there's Justin, so we're good.
Oh, Justin can jump on.
Yeah. So we got a quorum and then Justin. Okay. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Wonderful. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm coming out of a crawl space. I'll put my face on here in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that courtesy.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you.
All right. We have a quorum, right?
We do, so you may go ahead and open up the
I'm
meeting.
getting 9 o'clock. Is it 9 o'clock there?
It is.
Yes.
Time? Okay, great. Let's call to order and start the meeting.
Okay.
And really quick, this will be a one-item meeting. We'll get a larger meeting on the books. This is just to discuss the special assessments. First, I'd like to
Okay.
motion to approve the meeting.
Chaz, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what do you need? Sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say you need to approve the minutes, but you're already there. So you're good.
Okay, first, I'd like to motion to approve the minutes from the last board meeting. Do I get a
I'd like
second?
to, I'd
Second.
like,
Okay, Bob seconds.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay, so let's move right into the special assessments and the reason for the meeting. Matt, you want to lead us off?
Sure. We have started the phase 1 wood rot repair project. As of, I guess the official start was last Monday. Prior to that, we sent out a notice to owners, to all unit owners, including those affected by the repairs. We have then followed up with this meeting, which is a special assessment meeting, and identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 units. Those 9 units all contain extended sunrooms and repairs. And such, those repairs were documented by CSI. They were relayed in a notice to each unit owner of scope of work and cost, with a expiration date or a reply by date of April 30th, I believe, to where we gave everyone the opportunity to do their own repairs. After that expiration date, the board had assumed that they would be assumptive of the repairs that were undone. We did have a few unit owners that did some repairs and did report. We have done an inspection of those units, and some of those unit assessments that are listed in our agenda will be up for discussion as we go through them one by one for an adjustment. So with that, are there any questions from the board or attendees on how we got to today's meeting?
Nope.
No.
No,
I reckon the next item is the motion to approve special assessments. Do we have to do these one by one?
No, you can just say A through I on the agenda.
We are going to make some adjustments. So those adjustments, would you like to do those one at a time?
Yeah, you can adjust right now, and then we can just do the
So adjust right now, and then we'll do global.
Right.
Okay. So for the board, I'm going to make some adjustments to the A through I listing of assessments. We are going to start with unit 2313. 2313 is listed as B on your agenda. The amount, I should go 2313 Seamarsh Road roof system, Siplash, and skylights. That adjustment actually remains. Bear with me, this is complicated.
so it stays.
No, I'm sorry. That adjustment goes to 0.
So no special assessment.
So the repairs have been satisfied, inspected, and that adjustment goes to 0. Sorry, I didn't follow my notes. That's fine. Next adjustment will be 3217. 3217. We will be removing the roof. Are we removing roof foam and seal, or we want to keep that? I made a note because you're still going to foam. This is the
Yeah, all that we're still doing.
so that stays the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no change to 3217. We're going to move on to 3322. 3322 Seamarsh Road, sliding glass door, jam rot. Initial assessment is $15,513. We have confirmed that a new sliding glass door was installed. However, there still is jam rot that assessment will be reduced to $5,513, which is a reduction of $10,000, which is a credit toward, the sliding glass door. Okay. The last adjustment we're going to make is to 3328. I on your agenda, 3328 Sea Marsh Road, roof system, stucco, wood trim. That adjustment, we will be crossing out roof system, and we will be adjusting that assessment to $7,138. So in total, there should be 3 adjustments made to 3 units.
Question for the CAM. For the adjustment where the owner replaced the door, but there's still rot, I'm just clarifying, we've moved past the point where the owner can elect to make that repair themselves, and we are making the repair for them and billing them. Is that correct?
By letter of our notice, yes. However, if the board would allow, if you want to allow for unit owners to continue to make repairs, that was one of my questions for discussion, specifically for 3328. Does the board want to close the curtain on allowing unit owners to make repairs, and now these all become Roberts?
Well, didn't the notice that went out to the owners give them a time frame, and the time frame is passed?
This is correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So the time frame
yeah,
is, yeah.
Now, one quick question, Matt, is this the unit we've been discussing?
Yes. 3328 that we.
So one thing to clarify is that they have been wanting information, and in their feeling haven't got it in a timely manner to be able to fix it themselves. So this may be attenuating circumstances to this particular one.
So the inspections were scheduled via, through Robert Bailey and CSI, and done as quickly as possible. We've been moving relatively fast since we've signed the AAA contract. So, I feel like CSI and Robert Bailey have done a lot of work to get this together to us at this moment in time. So I don't feel like there's too many delays there. However, if the board wants to make an exception, it's completely your choice.
Given where we are with the project, if we were to assess and start the repairs, what would be the start date for that?
For that particular unit or the project in its entirety?
That particular unit.
Probably 60 days. How long until we get to the east side? 60 days?
At most. Depending on what we run into, as far as on the other ones, it could be a matter of a couple of weeks to a couple of months.
So Robert's saying between 30, 45 to 60 days. It just depends on how things go on the west side. This is an east side unit. So we're starting on the west.
It seems, I think, reasonable to get back to the owner with the updated assessment amount. And, if I were the owner, I would appreciate a short amount of time to decide whether they're going to given that it's going to take 60 days to get to them, I don't see the reason why we couldn't give them a, business reasonable amount of time to either make the repair or opt out or agree to the assessment. You know what I'm saying?
To add a little color to this discussion, the unit owner sold the unit. It closed yesterday. I had verbal confirmation from the.
It was put on the estoppel.
It was put on the special assessment was tied to the estoppel. So we have an interesting scenario where the previous owner is no longer the owner as of this time.
Yeah, they may have taken money in escrow for this.
So I can confirm that my conversation with Mr. Tate yesterday at 5 o'clock was that the 7,138, which is the new adjusted Assessment amount was placed into escrow for finalization of these repairs between seller and buyer. So
So the money's there.
the money is there.
Yeah, with that in mind, I didn't realize that. With that in mind, then I think we should just move forward with the repair, given the money's already been set aside.
Yeah, I mean, what happened is once we knew that there was going to be a special assessment, we had to, because the estoppels, as you know, Bob, the estoppels have language on there that says, are there any assessments or pending special assessments in the future? Even if we don't know what that amount is, we have to say yes. So then that causes a red flag, at closing for the title company. So they already knew that there was going to be a special assessment. They just didn't know what that amount was. And then Matt confirmed that amount last night. So that's the amount that was included on their estoppel, and that's the amount that was put in escrow.
Right.
I defer to the rest of the board on this, but given that the money's there and we don't want to overcomplicate this, it seems to me prudent that we just go ahead and make the repair and not give the new owner any reason to do anything else. But that's my opinion, and I defer to the board for their opinion.
Yeah, this is Scott. I would agree, and I would doubt the new owner wants to jump into a project and try to find the people to do the repairs. So I would just say continue on, and let's assume we're doing the work.
Well, wait, one thing quick here, Matt. I'm understanding that they were going to use their contractor that exists to finish this project up. Is that not correct?
That is correct. And I am meeting with him at 11 o'clock this morning to discuss the results of this meeting.
So the issue is that contractor could tackle this immediately, where it might be a 2, 3, maybe 4 month delay for us fixing it with the new owner in.
That's accurate.
Yeah, with that being said, that seems like it makes sense. I mean,
Makes sense to allow for their contractor to.
yeah. If they have somebody lined up and they have the money allocated and they want to get it done quickly. I mean, I didn't hear that part. I didn't know that part. So I think it's almost like a no-brainer. Let them do it. They get the money assigned, and it's one less thing we have to worry about, and the project moves faster.
I agree.
I would add, I'd give them a business reasonable amount of time to decide, so that they're not kicking the can down the road and keeping us from making the decision. So I don't know if that's 10 business days, a week, but I think we need to know what direction they're going sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So what'll happen is, we'll get the closing paperwork from the title company, and they'll have a check in there for everything. So it's going to be posted on their ledger. So they're going to have this huge credit on their ledger for $7,138. So if the board chooses to go this way, then probably the easiest way to do this would be to refund the new owner, once we have the money, the $7,138, and then they can pay their contractor.
So we would release, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get involved with 3-party billing.
Right.
Right. So if the owner, so the new owner has a credit on their account for the work to be done, but they have chosen to use their own contractor. So in essence, they're going to have $7,000 in their hands to do the work. So do you cut that owner a check? But if you choose to do that, I would wait to make sure that the work is done first.
So what we did to
and
this,
verify the work that's done. And then it's not a big deal for us, our accounting department, to go ahead and cut a check to that owner. It would have to be cut to the owner.
so what we did was, for those that did repairs, we inspected. The results of those inspections were memoed to the owners, and then we made adjustments to those assessments. So we would do the same process. We'd have the work inspected, and then we would memo the work is complete, or there's something to still be done. And then after that, if it's complete, we would have a refund. If there's something to still be done, we'd have to sort that out with Robert.
Well, I mean, Robert's not even involved in this because for Ike, because if the owner's using their own contractor and we have $7,000 that belongs to the owner, then Robert's not even involved in this.
Only if there's something that's unresolved.
Unresolved, yeah.
So if we inspect and there's still work to be done, which we've done already.
Right,
with
so
this
then
contract.
somebody's gonna have to confirm that, and if it's more than $7,138,
Revisit.
you're gonna have to revisit it, because that's all you're allowed to assess this owner today, $7,138, and you already have the money.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
So ultimately, our little discussion here is we can do it either way. It's really whatever the board decides to do. Bob, you make a good point. If we want to give them till like July 1st or something like that to make the repairs, reinspect. A third option, not to complicate it, is we could throw Robert over there and Robert could up it in the schedule and he could get it done sooner. I mean, that's an option too.
I mean, if you have the money already coming, then, and you want Robert to do it, and then if the owner's okay with it, then just have Robert do it. Can you adjust your?
Yeah, I mean,
That's enough. I mean, that's probably the cleanest option, because he's going to build the association. The association is going to pay for it, and then this money's going to reimburse what we pay to Robert, because it's going to come out of your reserves.
And if if Robert comes in less than $7,000, we just refund the
Mhm.
balance back to the owner, correct? Or the new
That's
owner?
correct.
Okay.
That's
I'd like to make a motion, but the motion would be we get a little more information after the meeting today and then finalize our decision via email. Is there an issue with doing that?
You can't vote via email. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yep.
And I really anticipate the meeting today is going to be, the contractor just asking me what the scope of work is to satisfy the CSI scope of work.
So speaking of that, Matt, so is the new owner planning on this contractor to do the work? Why does this meeting happen if the closing's already happened?
That I don't know. I don't know anything about the new owner.
And the meeting today is you and the contractor, or you and the new owner and the contractor?
It would be myself and the contractor who was hired to do the work to this point, the repair work to this point. So I would assume that in the negotiations of closing, which I'm not privy to, that there was some agreement to finish out the work as part of the closing.
I recommend we give the new contractor a period of time to complete the work. Otherwise, we get it done on, given that we have the money and we had previously planned to do this. So, Matt, you mentioned giving them until July 1st. That seems like a reasonable amount of time. And if the owner says no, they'd rather have us do it, then we get Robert over there. And if his schedule's flexible, we get it done sooner rather than later.
I think that's a
Second.
good plan.
No.
Okay.
Scott, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I July 1st. If they can get it done, then that's pretty quick. So I would agree
I
with
mean,
that.
you have the money anyway, so it doesn't really matter at that point. So
Are
So-
we in contact with the new owner? Do you have all the information, Nick?
No, that information comes in over some time.
So how are we going to let the new owner know he has 2 weeks to do this?
I mean, it could be 2 weeks until we get the closing packet from the
Yeah.
title company.
Let's give him 30 days then.
30 days.
Yeah. I mean, you can check with Lizzie and see if they provided their contact information at closing. Because usually if the title companies, the folks that are in town, the title companies know that to gather at closing the owner's name, phone number, email addresses, and provide that to us before we get the closing packet, because the closing packet may not get in our hands until 30 days. And most of the time, the only thing that's included in that is just a warranty deed. So check with Lizzie. Maybe she can contact the title company, see if they have that information today.
So that being said, I looked at the calendar, approximately 30 days would be July 17th, Friday, July 17th. Does anyone oppose to that date? So
No, I think that's a good date.
okay, we'll make Friday, July 17th, the day of the due date for repairs, and we'll inspect shortly thereafter, if not sooner. Okay, so any questions on any of these assessments other than what we described?
Hey, can you hear me, Johnny Belissery?
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead.
Good. I was wondering if any consideration was given to the receipt we turned in. Matt, I think you got it a couple days ago about the work done on 3213.
Yes.
Yes, we do have a receipt for work done.
They came in late, so they didn't know that. Didn't they?
Right, to the roofing system, the skylights in particular.
Nothing's owed.
So 3213, I wrote you an email yesterday with a memo. Did you receive that email and memo?
I did, and the way I interpreted is provided that it passed council or board, then we would be no assessment for us.
So currently right now, the assessment that's on the table for a vote is $0.00 for your unit. And we have not voted on that just yet.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you so much. And then I will have one last question that's not relative to this, but let's go ahead and finish whatever y'all need to.
Thank you, sir. So we need a motion to pass the assessments.
There's somebody else that has their hand up. Travis Neff, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. 3315 Sea Marsh Road. Wondering what this special assessment is all about.
He's not on the list.
Because he does. So the special assessments were specifically about those units that are inventoried by Fairway Oaks as having an extended sunroom. An extended sunroom is a sunroom that was extended beyond the original footprint. Okay. Your unit is 3215, correct?
3315.
Thank you, sir. 3315. 3315. We do have your unit inventoried as extended. However, your unit would be inventoried in the phase 2 of this wood rot repair project. So we are now currently working on the phase 1. So the wood rot repairs are to those components of your villa that are currently owned and maintained by the unit owner. And those are a couple of a couple of components. One is which is the extended sunroom, which we already discussed. Some have skylights, and there's a couple little oddities. But essentially, these are unit owned and unit maintained components that have been inspected and determined by a third party, CSI, as being deficient in certain aspects, sealants, wood rot, and the like. And the board has taken it upon themselves to allow each unit owner to make those repairs by a certain date. If they're not made, then a special assessment levy would be served so that the association would make those repairs on your behalf. So that's a short, brief explanation of about 18 months worth of work, sir, trying to get to this point.
Yes. So any idea what that special assessment might be when you get to phase 2 for units that you're looking at in a similar situation?
We're putting together a scope of work and assessment as we speak, and it will be affected by the amount of work that we do in the phase 1s. The idea here was to break off 14 units, 4 total buildings to the north of the community, and kind of set up a best practices, means, and methods so that when we do get to the phase 2, we could not only have additional knowledge, but also forecast some of those assessments and change orders, and what kind of materials and what kind of deficiencies would be expected. So to answer your question, in a brief amount of time, we should have a schedule for the phase 2 unit owners' special assessment responsibilities. But it's sort of evolving and fluid as we work through the phase 1.
All right. So phase 2 would not be happening for a while, or you're going to give me warning soon when you get those when you get a best practices and whatever you're figuring out during phase 1. When would I be brought aware of potential costs to me
I would encourage you to join us in our meetings as we discuss
Yeah.
these. I
Okay,
encourage
that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. I encourage you to sign on to the Fairway Oaks website where we're updating as diligently as we can about this phase 1 and phase 2 project, as well as other relevant information. Are you a part of the website?
I am not right now, no, but I will be.
I encourage you and everyone else on this meeting to go ahead today and set up your username and password and have access to all the vital information that affects not only you but the rest of the community. So as far as the scheduling for phase 2, that's not been determined as of this moment.
Okay.
We're first going to digest the numbers and then we'll pivot over to implementation after that. But
Okay.
I would expect some time to pass between phase 1 and phase 2.
That being said, Travis, totally get your need to get as advance notice as possible. So that point is taken, and we will work as hard as we can to notify all the other unit owners what their costs may be, so you can plan enough time as possible.
Yeah, can I just mention, I'm sorry, just in mentioning not the overall scope of work of what you're doing, but in our particular case, my mother is not going to see any of this work that is happening. That all this work that's starting, she is not going to see it. We are going to have to move out before that happens for her health. That being said, we are paying out the rear for all of the, property assessment that is annual, and she's on fixed income. And if I move her any sooner than her medical needs, it will only worsen her current medical condition. So I have asked originally a long time ago for some sort of understanding that that is our situation, and see if there's any way that there's an exception to the continued rate of her homeowners association fees, the continued rate of her needs of her property assessment, and now a special assessment is going to bury her. So if there's any way where new owner, I don't know any of this language, you're talking to someone who does not know any of this language. If those fees can be assessed to the new owner in 2 years, that would be great. But my mom is not, we didn't even see the sidewalk, that work that was done, was never done on our sidewalk. She's never going to see the benefits of all of these payments that she has been making since the 49% hike in her fees. I just wanted to put that out there and appreciate your understanding and compassion in my situation as her health rapidly declines. We are not going to be there in 2 years. We're just not. I'd be lucky if you still see us as your parts of your community in 1.5 years from now. The money is draining her dry.
So noted. I don't think we have a response to that other than we hear what you're saying, and we'll stay in touch with you and communicate as things go forward.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I'm going to jump off the call now and join the website and try to stay in touch as much as possible.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Any other questions? Any other questions from the board or the unit owners?
Yeah, I have a question. It's not relative to all the discussion going on. Is now the time to pose it?
No,
Actually,
no.
we have a discussion going on. I'd like to make a motion that we move ahead with the special assessment adjustments, as we had just discussed over the last several minutes, regarding the specific units that we covered during this agenda.
Second.
Bob made the motion. Chaz seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 When would you like the money due? We know that work, 3328 is going to be in our hands because we closed, but the rest of the owners, when did you want to do?
So to give some color to this discussion, I received 1, 2, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 8 assessments. We did remove one.
Mhm.
So for the board, of the 8, 4 of the 8 were grateful, thankful, and 100% supportive. So I don't anticipate any hardship. So that's 4 of the 8. The others are, you're looking at 5,000, 2,000, 5,000, and 4,000. You know, so it's
Well, just let us know when you want it because we have to send out a notice that says when it's due.
right. So it's a digestible amount that could be collected in one lump sum.
It's one lump sum.
And I would encourage the board, thank you, I would encourage the board to do it as soon as possible.
I'd like to suggest 60 days as a working number for the due date for the special assessments.
Okay, so 60 days would be what date?
Let's look.
We'd have to be like the first of the month because it's a lot easier to
That's fine.
assess that way.
August 1st?
August
That would
1st.
be closer to 45 days. Is that digestible?
August 1st. Okay.
August 1st.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
So they go out immediately and then do
Notices will go out immediately and they'll let the owners know that they are being special assessed and that payment is due by August 1st.
I'd like to amend the motion to include that information that we'll assess now and the payments will be due August 1st.
Thank you. We have a second on that amendment?
Second.
Seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. We had one owner just had an off question, nothing on the agenda.
I think that was John.
Go ahead, John. John, you're
You're still.
Oh, am I unmuted now?
You're good.
Okay, great.
Sure.
So this certainly isn't germane to what we're discussing, but it has to do with our pest control policy. If I understand it correctly, they come a certain number of times, and if you want them to come inside, we have to call the HOA to get them to come inside. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they come twice a month, usually sometime around the first week and the third week of the month. In order to do an interior inspection, you would call Amelia Island Management, and you would schedule with Amelia Island Management, and then you would have to make arrangements for the access to your unit. So they would have to have a key or code to get inside the unit, do an interior spray. That information is also listed on the website, all that vital information. So if you're not a member of the website, please, I encourage you to join.
I think we are. My wife's certainly going to do it, but we thought that was the policy. Why had one just matter maybe for consideration is sometimes it takes a while for them to get there. Would there be any way if we could pay for it ourselves? Because I've had a little problem with pound mud bugs, especially, and a lot of insects. And I think they just came and sprayed based on our request to come inside. But I think it still takes time. Like they only come certain times. I certainly understand it shouldn't be an expense to the greater association. But would it make sense in the future if we use just that pest control business, but we were able to contact them and pay them separately for extra sprays? Because if I'm not mistaken, the last time we called, they told my wife, well, it'll be, they only come out here X number of times, even if we request on certain days. And I was something maybe a little less restrictive because we're not there that often. But the one thing I don't like seeing are roaches and bugs in my place.
So now that's a very valid point. So the board is not opposed to you calling any pest control company of your choosing. If you want to use Massey Pest Services, Massey Pest Services, name it. You're more than welcome to call them and set up a time at your earliest convenience. Obviously that would be at your cost, but you can use, I mean, there's dozens that are in the local area. Some use a company called Naders, Pest Raiders. But as far as frequency, that's all been contracted and it's listed in a scope of work that we have in our contract. So unfortunately, twice a month is what we've agreed to, but you're welcome to use any pest control service at any frequency of your choosing.
Okay, and Matt, that's fine. And I don't disapprove it. I'm not unhappy with the frequency that's set up. It's just that when I get them, I want to get rid of them. So I thought we were restricted to, we could only use the company that comes, but you're saying if we're willing to pay, we can use anybody as often as we want.
Yes, sir.
Great, man. Thanks y'all so much. And thanks for the work y'all do. I know it's a lot of hard work, so I appreciate everything y'all do.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Okay, anything else from the board?
Before we break, I do have one more item. So we've got Justin Watson here from CSI. We've got Robert Bailey here, who is the owner operator of RSB Homes. I'm going to kind of turn the floor over to them to quickly discuss a policy, or at least a cadence of how we want to handle any change orders that come through. Robert's already started the project, taken down or done some destructive testing, or removed some lumber and members, trim, and found, some instances where the scope may be changing. And I want to discuss with the board how we want to address that, how we want to communicate that, and what kind of the approval process will be. So let me turn it over to Robert or Justin.
Yeah, just
Let's turn it over to Justin then first, and then Robert's available for comment, but to kind of walk through a couple of scenarios so that we can wrap our head around what to expect.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
So we've started on the west side of the property, starting out at unit 3212 and working our way north to 3217. Monday, Robert's team came in. We met them on site, and we dug in to unit 3212 to kind of give a preliminary look at maybe any unforeseen conditions that were not visible. And as we started taking off the existing cedar trim around the windows of that sunroom, we got into some minor sheathing decay below a couple of the west windows, and we've got some minor structural 2x6 on the south wall face of that sunroom. And we're kind of standing back saying, okay, well, the scope of work for 3212 is, as it stands, remove all existing siding down to framing and install new hardy panel siding, and have additional trim at the windows. It doesn't have anything in here about the unforeseen conditions for sheathing or framing. On a 1 to 10 scale of how bad this damage is, I'd say it's probably at a 3, and it can be repaired. What I'm trying to figure out with Robert is how does the board want us to present this information once we dig into these units, so that we can communicate what we are currently observing, the condition-wise under the existing siding or trim. I'm happy to draft individual memos to paint a broad picture for said owners, but I want to make sure that we're providing the correct correspondence to you as the board, and get that information over to the owners as quickly as we can. And then how can we streamline getting that answer from either the owners or the board, so that we can keep Robert and his team working? Because really, we're opening these items up, we're getting into them, we're getting into unforeseens, and we're going, okay, hold on. And I'm happy to give, like I said, a memo and provide like an A and B option, like good or best option for repair. We also have some additional findings at 3213. I'm sorry, 3215. I'm looking at my bid schedule here with all my notes. That unit specifically, we've got for the homeowner cost on the bid schedule right now is replace far right footboard 2x6, and included in that was mobilization and general conditions. But during our inspection, as we got started, we've got 2 rafter ends from the sunroom that extend out, that support the roof system, that have WDO damage. You could shove my knife in there and dig some of that out. And we also have notated some soffit or decking damage on the north side of that sunroom, kind of where the flat roof and the sloped roof interface. So needless to say, what I'm getting at is we're going to have some change order work, and I'm trying to get in the position where, like I said, we can communicate those findings from CSI's point of view, and obtain a cost from Robert Bailey so that we have all this information packaged together for the ownership, and you as a board to communicate how that can go forward. So I hope that kind of paints a picture of what we're looking at currently.
Appreciate the color, Justin. Thank you. And for me to take one step further, those are two examples, one of which would be a association change order because it is an original sunroom. The other would be a unit owner or potentially a second assessment change order. So those are kind of the two different, I want to call it, two different situations that.
Well, yeah, sorry to cut you off. So how's the process work for the extended sunrooms that would be the owner's responsibility if that number is higher than what we just approved today?
So what we approved today was for the base work. And then if that work were to expand, we would have to have a second special assessment meeting to make up for the difference.
Is that clear on the notices that went out to these people that figure may be higher?
The notices that went out were what we're using today, as well as the information that David Hacker sent out back in March. I would say no. It's probably not.
Having gone through this process before, the previous time we did wood repair projects, I would suggest, things change. So I'd suggest being very clear about what the scope of the initial inspection was, what we found, and why there's a change in scope now. I think most people, when you explain it to them that way, specifically what changed and what they're now looking at, they'll do the reasonable thing. We ran into this the last time we did the wood repair project, and other than one owner who refused to pay, who's no longer part of the community, we didn't have issues with this problem.
Okay. So let's turn back to change orders and I guess, the logistics of doing that. Because in order for a change order, just let me explain for a second, I'll step back. In order for a change order to be initiated, the board would have to approve that change order. So Justin would write up the change order, it would be sent to the board would then have to approve it, and then Robert can initiate.
I'm working on the estimate what we have already. I'm working on that.
Okay.
And these approvals can be email, right? We don't have to have meetings for this, correct?
Ultimately, the approvals can be emailed, but ultimately the special assessment would have to be in a meeting such as this, notice 14 days. And it may be wise to do that at the end of the project or, toward whenever we sign off these buildings. You might want to do one from the west side, then the east side, or we could do it just at the end. So maybe, some of this discussion turns into, if there's a board member that wants to be a spearhead of this decision making, obviously, you're a group and y'all want to pass it around, but maybe having one person as sort of a single voice to this project to be able to make some of these decisions.
Bob, do you have the bandwidth to be able to lead that?
Yes, I'm happy to do it, especially since we did this project before and I've got some experience with this. So more than happy to be the focal.
Yeah, I'd love Bob to be the point person on all this.
So what we can do is when those change orders come in, we will copy them to the board. But Bob, you and I will have a direct line of communication, and we'll initiate based on your directive.
So how do you guys want, obviously the process is more simpler for the non-expanded units. For the expanded units, are we going to, or is your idea to go ahead, approve, do the work, and then have the meeting later to try to get the money back from the owners, or to hold off on those units?
I would say we,
What's that, Bob?
Sorry, Matt, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead. It's fine.
I would say once we realize that there's something different, we immediately contact the homeowner and we give them a short amount of time to make a decision. I don't think we want to chase people. I think we need to include the homeowner in this process, especially this is for the extended sunrooms where it's their responsibility to begin with. And so my experience is this happened before. We came into a problem. We promptly informed the owner. They gave us the go ahead and everything was fine.
And did you have to have approval meetings after the fact, Bob?
We did the approval meeting. You mean the approval from the owner to pay the additional amount?
No, the approval for the board to sign off on the additional assessments.
We did not do that.
So the work does not have to be approved as it's provided to us. The change orders do not have to be approved in a vote. We do ask that the board give us verbal consent, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be approved in a board meeting. However, the assessment meeting has to be done at the end, Chaz. So we can get our work done through email to keep the project rolling, and then at some point we've got to formalize all those change orders in an assessment meeting, just like today.
Okay, so I think Bob being the point person to funnel all this, we approve by email, and then any additional, we'll just have to set up assessments meetings after the fact. Because obviously getting a quorum isn't that easy when we're all working and spread out everywhere. So that would be my thought.
Okay.
So we wouldn't be holding up work on assessment meetings.
Right.
Is it valuable right now to discuss, once we do have a change order, we contact the owner? Bob, you had said a short amount of time. Is there an amount of time we want to agree to in this meeting right now so that we're all on the same page for the owner to respond to our change order?
Do we have this situation occurring right now?
Yes.
Okay. Because I would really rather, can we take that offline? I'd really rather keep this meeting going in the interest of time, and then we'll figure that out. I'd like to look at what we did last time, and I don't want to hold everybody up doing
Absolutely.
that. So Matt, just reach out to me and we'll figure it out. We'll make sure the owner gets a reasonable amount of time and we don't hold up Robert and the rest of the people that are doing the work unnecessarily, so we can keep the project on track.
Okay, there's nothing else for the agenda.
No? Any other questions, concerns?
On the agenda? No.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, I have a question. I'm sorry, I couldn't get myself unmuted. This is Susan Mueller. We're at 3323 Seamarsh. And I just want to get an understanding of how you coordinate this with rentals, because we do rent our unit out some. And so will I have a date as far as, or a ballpark date when the changes will be made so I can be sure that I don't have renters in there, or what are your suggestions on that?
Yeah, we can make the arrangements, working with your schedule. If you just let us know when the unit will be available, then we can, make that priority to get it taken care of in a quick manner.
Okay, so it sounded like you wouldn't be getting to that side. I guess we're on the east side. You wouldn't be getting to like 3323 for a couple months, probably.
Just give us 1
60
second
days.
to organize.
Window trim, light fixture, and stucco.
Give us a second. We can get resolved.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks like it's just always minimal stuff. It's nothing to decide.
Monday to Friday.
Nothing that'll require interior access, Robert, at this moment?
Yeah, it won't at this moment.
Yeah.
So it really wouldn't even disrupt people that are there, although maybe it's best not to have someone there, but
Well, it shouldn't. And generally what we do is we'll knock on the door, like we'll knock on the door and let them know, hey, we're gonna be working on this unit outside, just so they know. But this is just, it's real minimal.
What about
Okay.
the front enclosure there, Robert, in that unit?
Sir?
What about the front enclosure in that unit?
Let me look at my pictures.
Because that would be a little disruptive to a rental.
You talking about as far as we have to do the garbage corral or the corral?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can hold off on that if we end up having to do work on it.
It sounds like you think the whole process would be a week, a Monday through Friday.
Possibly. I mean, we got stucco repair. Generally, you gotta, depending on, I can't remember what repairs, but let's say we've got to take out 15 square feet. Stucco guy, he'll come in, he'll put his first coat on. We'll have to let it sit 2 to 3 days. He'll put a second coat on, same thing, and then put the final coat. So it's a process. And then
So
we got,
Susan, I would advise, like, if possible, not having a rental there.
Yeah.
It is a little disruptive. So that they could have issues with y'all. So it sounds like just blocking out a week that would work. Would probably
that's fine. I just need to know, I just need to get an idea of what week that would be. That's all.
we could actually hold this unit off until just make it towards the end. And then when we get close to that, I don't know, what kind of time frame would you like, Miss Susan?
If I know a couple weeks out, and then I can just we have a property management company that, does the rentals, and if I could just let them know, or I'll block it off on our rental calendar. So as soon as if you just let me know and I'll block that out. I know that, especially if you're doing exterior work and it rains, I'm sure dates slide a little bit because of weather. But yeah, I can just block that week out. Or if I have to block a couple weeks out, that's not a problem.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll give you at least 2 weeks. Who's your rental company?
It's Brandon Dunlop.
Oh, okay. I've never worked with them, but if what I can do is communicate, if I have their contact, I can communicate with them as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that would probably be great. So I could send their contact information to you. I guess if I could get your contact information, then I can send.
Go through you.
Yeah. Why don't you write me an email and I'll follow up with contact info and for Robert Billy. And also keep an eye on the website. We'll be updating the project address on the website.
Okay, perfect.
So.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Susan.
Smile.
Everybody good? Any other questions? I move to adjourn the meeting then.
9:53. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Great. Well, thank everybody for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys.